Lost Art of Fishing Stories, written by Andrew Cox. Get your copy today. Go to Amazon and search The Lost Art of Fishing Stories. The Lost Art Project, Veteran Voices with Andrew Cox. Preserving history, one veteran story at a time. Marine Corps League and Till Valhalla Project Ambassador. Thanks for tuning in to the podcast that's given a voice to our veterans. The Lost Art Project, Veteran Voices with Andrew Cox.
Hello, my friends, and welcome back to the Lost Art Project, Veterans Voices. Tonight we're having a fireside chat, and it's going to be a doozy. I'm looking forward to it. We got a special guest, and I think you're all going to enjoy this one. But before we get into the episode, are you enjoying the podcast? Make sure you go to the website. That's thelostart.podbean.com. Go check us out, see what we're all about. There's a couple ways you can help support us here at the podcast. You can always go to that website. There's a one-time donation link. You can also become a patron with a monthly donation, or you can just go get you some cool merchandise. And if you have a business, you got a book, you got anything like that, you can advertise right here on the podcast. Big shout out to the Till Valhalla Project out there doing amazing things. If you guys don't know anything about them, go check them out at their website. Then if you have seen them, go back to their website and check them out. They have stuff all the time, new stuff coming out. So that's tillvalhallaproject.com.
Are you a Marine veteran? Are you missing that bond you had on active duty? Then I have a place for you. Join the only congressionally chartered Marine Corps Veteran Service Organization, the Marine Corps League. Get that brother and sisterhood back in your life. Become one of the fewer, the prouder, a Marine Corps League member.
All right, here we go. Oh, hey. Oh, well, I'm messing this up. I don't even know how to work my own thing here. I apologize. There we go. Okay. Sorry, that was our special guest, and I was trying to surprise him. All right. So, Mike, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, Andrew. It's been a couple of weeks, so I'm good.
Yeah. Well, you got your vacation. You got to go up and see all the polar bears.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
The elk and what else? What else do you see up there? The whales.
Sea otters and whales. And
okay, sea otters. Yeah. You got to see the big ice glaciers.
Yeah, the
and all
glacier.
stuff.
Yeah, it was pretty neat. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a pretty picture that you sent. I should have pulled it
Yeah,
up.
that was 2 years ago when we went up with our son and daughter. The ship, we were closer this time we were the last time, but there was a lot larger ice chunks or iceberg. They don't look like icebergs that I think, in the water, but they're big enough when you actually see them, like when the ship goes by them and they start rocking back and forth. And you're like, holy crap, there's a lot of ice down there. But the captain of the ship, that cruise, he's like, no, it's not safe. We're done. And you could just barely see it up around the corner, that round the bend up there. And it's like, are you kidding me? You can't go another 200 yards or something like that. But he knows best. I mean, he's not going to risk a multi-billion-dollar ship and 5,000 people's lives just to see something.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
But what's impressive is that whole area is it may be a half a mile across, if that, not even that, maybe a quarter mile from shore to shore.
No kidding.
And he gets that ship dead center and just spins it around. Just it's amazing. Yeah, it just spins the damn. They got those bow thrusters and stuff.
Yeah.
And it just literally just turns the ship.
Wow.
Takes about 30 minutes. He just the whole time just like that.
Yeah.
Turns around and starts chugging back out. But I didn't realize it, but my son and I were watching it. They had a thing in one night you could go down in the atrium. It's like the center of the ship, but they have like a stage and stuff. And they were talking about the ship. I'm sorry, I'm making this long.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
But the three bow thrusters on it, we were watching it on the TV in the room because they kept playing it over and over and over. Those three bow thrusters are 5,000 horsepower apiece.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
So they got 15,000 horsepower just in those, and that's what, they can turn it into thrusters. It can move the ship side to side. And I was like, good
Wow.
Lord,
That's
5,000
amazing.
horsepower apiece. It was ridiculous.
Man.
But
Put
we
that on.
watched one in Victoria. I'll have to send you the video.
Yeah.
We were docked, and another ship came in and docked beside us, and I forget what cruise line it was. He came in nose first, turned that baby around, and it was just, sun was going down and all the lights were on the ships. And he
Wow.
threw that baby in reverse like he was backing up into a Perkins spot. It was funny. You could almost think he's sitting up there. He's like
Yeah.
doing that, looking out of the rearview mirror, looking out of the mirror. But it was
Very
amazing
nice.
how they could just turn those ships around and what they do with them. So
I'm telling you, man. That's cool. Well, I guess we can move on. We got a special guest tonight. It should be a good time. This is William Stevo Stephens, and he's going to come on talk to us about a couple of different things. But I'm going to play this little video before he gets here.
Life is your story. No one else gets to write it. No one else gets to define it. Every choice you make, every risk you take, every dream you chase, it's yours. People will doubt you, judge you, misunderstand you, but it doesn't matter. This is your journey, your fight, your legacy. Own it.
All right. Oh, man. Stevo, how you doing?
Good evening, gentlemen. How's everyone doing?
Oh, man, we're fantastic. We're excited you're here. Army veteran, right? Sergeant first class retired. Is that correct?
Yep. Yes.
Very nice. I'm just real curious about your background a little bit. Before we jump into everything, I want to know a little bit about you. And if you could just tell our audience, you don't have to go in super detail or anything, but just kind of give us a walkthrough of your career.
First of all, thank you for giving me the opportunity to be on your platform and all the other veteran podcasts and everybody that have been on their podcast. We are the voices of the unheard, and people listen to us and hear our message. So, born and raised in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. I'm 56 years old. Graduated in 1988. Joined the Army in 1988. So, went to Fort Sill, Oklahoma. Was in the cohort unit. Went to Germany with all my guys. Some of them went to Turkey, and some of us went to Europe. So, Germany. So, all the guys that went to Turkey, I never saw them again in my entire life. But everybody that I believe went to Germany, I saw them throughout different deployments on planes at airports, and
Very nice.
went to Desert Shield, Desert Storm, and provided comfort when I was 19 years old. I went to Desert Shield. I knew that was gonna happen.
Yeah, you're good. Don't even worry about it.
I knew that was gonna happen because my neighbor got a dog and my dog going nuts. So.
yeah, I'm surprised mine aren't doing the same thing. So don't feel bad.
Yeah. So went to Desert Shield the day after Christmas in 90 and didn't come back until May 2nd, 91. So
Okay.
yeah, I don't know why we provide what comfort we did, but we were there. So after that, I was in special weapons too. So I got a top secret when I was a private. I didn't even know what that was. It later helped me in the military. So after that, I re-enlisted because I thought I was a badass because I made it through combat.
Yeah.
Went to Fort Carson for 4 years. Did so many different, like I don't even know what they were called. Desert Spring, Desert Forward, Kuwait, border of Iraq, training the Kuwaitis and all that. Then I went to Korea. I was at Camp Casey. I've never been to Korea. That's quite an experience, I guess you could say. Then I went right back to Carson for 4 years.
Oh, wow.
Same unit. More deployments, more operations, this and that, and all this. Went back to Korea again. Same unit, same base, different people.
Yeah.
First to the 15th Field Artillery. This time I learned, I guess in the Marine Corps, now they call it close quarters combat, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it actually originated from combatives. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So the combatives manual. So I learned that with the Rock Army and all that. Those
Okay.
dudes were messing around with anybody. So I learned that. So I got these right here. I guess a certified killer, I guess. I don't know. It paid off when I was in Korea because they always put me on this thing called, I don't know if you know what courtesy patrol is. When you're
Is
back
that
on
like
the
shore
deal.
patrol?
No, that's controlling all the jerks in the bars. Courtesy
Ah,
patrol.
nice.
So MP, military police, stands for mutilate and punch.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then I went back to So I went Carson, Korea, then to Lewis.
Okay.
And so I'm field artillery, and I was 109, like self-propelled, heavy the whole time. So I've never been a light fighter, never had the chance to jump out of an airplane
Mm-hmm.
and watch my parachute open and bounce off the ground. But went to Fort Lewis, and I don't know if you know the history of Fort Lewis, but the Stryker Brigade was originated there. They brought them in from Canada.
Right.
Actually, we all had this big ceremony where they drove through the Fort Lewis main, like the gates. And then they changed us. We transferred over to 198 cannon, 155. And I wasn't having that. I'm not a light fighter, so that was terrible. So, but I think that's where like my military PTSD kicked in, man. Like, I got an altercation. So, y'all are Marines, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me get this straight because I don't want the fact checkers coming after me. So, I was a staff sergeant, but I was a gunnery sergeant, not a gunny. You know what a gunnery sergeant is? They're the ones that go out and find the positions for the howitzers.
Mm-hmm.
That was my job. So I was in the motor pool with the soldiers, and I wasn't one of those kind of people that watch the soldiers. So I was, cleaning tools and doing stuff with them. And I had this Hispanic platoon sergeant from the other platoon that used to call me the MF. He used to, it's what he used to say, call me the mother. And I got tired of it, and I told him, I said, I sent the soldiers to chow or to lunch, and him and I got an altercation, and on the trail, so on a 198, you have the trails that dig into the ground, okay? They have this thing called the material lifting bar, material lifting safety bar. I don't know, it just ended up in my hand, it ended up in my hand, and I was in the first sergeant's office for assault with a deadly weapon, let's just say that. So
Oh, dang.
I don't know if I passed out or what, but I was definitely going through it, man. Like there'd be times where I could punch the wall and stuff and make my hands bloody and clean myself up and look all professional. But I got relieved, and a lot of people ain't gonna come on and tell you they got relieved. So I got relieved, and back then we didn't have this thing called military correspondence where you learn how to write properly. Well, they just fluffed my non-commissioned officer evaluation report. I think there was like 3 blocks, and I got a 3 and a 3. And if you know the rating scale from like 1 and 2, they're really so. 3, 4, and 5, that's like you're done. Your career's over. So I got a 3 and a 3. I didn't sign it, and basically, I thought that they were gonna like maybe go give me like a psychological eval, but like they just threw me out of the battalion. Like I got 15 days extra duty, 15 days restriction, no loss of pay, and no loss of rank. So I got relieved. I didn't even meet with the sergeant major. They just sent me over to First Corps headquarters. And long story short, I ended up being a tour guide at the Fort Lewis Military Museum. And I guess they left me there until like I was getting ready to retire. So I guess it always happens for a reason. Okay. So I was there at the Fort Lewis Military Museum, and I got to meet my Raider was a GS-15, like what is that? A museum curator. So I did not know when I was at the museum that we were going to be like painting tanks and vacuuming and doing all the stupid stuff, just to make it very prestigious. But while I was there as the guy in charge, the NCOIC, we never had one complaint. We went from wearing civilian clothes to wearing our Class Bs with ribbons and stuff.
Yeah.
And I made it very professional. I even though I was a failure, I wanted to make myself look good before I left the military.
Right.
So I went and met my senior rater. He was a full bird colonel, like an 06.
Mm-hmm.
And I went over there and I sat down, and like this is the first time I ever like really sat down with an 06. Like I've seen him around, but this is not my game.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, well, hey, sir, you think this is going to hinder my career? And I'm like, can I ask you a question? Why are you in the position that you're in here at the headquarters? He's like, well, I'm going to retire from this position. And sometimes we get put in these positions too because we're so gun ho and we do things out of the ordinary. We have to like come down,
Yeah.
So I got my NCOER, I believe, on my evaluation report while I was there, and it was a 1 and a 1. So it was like above, prestigious. I was making it happen at the museum, but I don't think the military cared if I was in the museum or not. So about 3 months later, I got a phone call from a friend because he's like, yo, man, Steve, you made the list. And I'm like, what do you mean I made the list? And he's like, yeah, man, you made the list. You made the Sergeant First Class list. And I'm like,
wow.
What? I'm like, what? I'm like, there's no way, man. They submitted that 3 and 3 to the DA board. And like, I even went and took my DA photo just, keep up, And he's like, yeah, man, you're like number 52 on the list. I'm looking at it right now, dude. He's like, where are you? And I'm like, museum, dude. He's like, where? I'm like, I'm in a museum, man. I got relieved. He's like, you got relieved? I'm like, yeah, I got relieved, man. He's like, how do you make the list? I was like, I don't know, man. Then one of my friends reached out to me from the other battalion. I was in 137 Field Artillery. So if y'all want to do your homework, that's at Fort Lewis. I think that's West 3rd Brigade. I was in 137. Not one staff sergeant made the list in that battalion.
Wow.
Not one. So 2 months later, I got promoted. We had like a ceremony at the museum. It was very private. Like I was still single, we all did like just the crew and the curator. And one of the things that made me very prestigious at the museum was Audie Murphy, the most decorated soldier ever to live.
Right.
He used to be stationed at Fort Lewis and fly out of the airfield there. And I was inducted in '97 to the Sergeant Audie Murphy Leadership Club. So I was already Audie Murphy. And I told the curator, I'm like, y'all do all this stuff in the museum for like the 8th Infantry Division and all this. Why don't we make an exhibit for Audie Murphy? So they did like the research and we put an exhibit that you could go to the Fort Lewis Museum today. And the curator went and found like a little model of Audie Murphy in his uniform and all that. And yeah, man, it was banging, dude. So
wow.
Then I got orders to go to Riley.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to Riley and I ended up being a platoon sergeant there. Well, I was a gunnery sergeant for a while, and then I was a platoon sergeant, and we did some more deployments to Kuwait and up on the border Iraq. And then 9/11 hit, and I was in, I believe, in the Charlie Battery, and I actually knew we knew where we were going. So we replaced 3rd Infantry Division in theater. Before we got up there, we were in Kuwait. I got relieved again.
Oh, no.
I got an altercation with a soldier, and I think they were already grooming another staff sergeant who had already made the list to take my place. So long story short, I ended up being a retention NCO, like a fucking recruiter in combat. So
right.
The way the person I am, very strong, very demeanor, very rude to people. When I went to look for soldiers, they ran away. It was very hard for me. I did not know what retention was. Basically, it was like I fell on my face for a while, but I learned about career counselors.
Mm-hmm.
So I volunteered to go and see career counselors, put my life on the line. Not really put my life on the line, but I would volunteer to be like a convoy commander to go up to pick
Right.
up supplies, but then I would go see the career counselor. But like they coached, teach, and mentored me. And yeah, so first quarter I failed. Second, third, fourth quarter, the $20,000 bonus came. Figured out soldiers weren't numbers no more, so I set up like a little office in Forehead's Palace in downtown Al-Mansur district in Baghdad. We were near the big communication tower. Like
Okay.
you could stand on the tower and look down and see people walking around our forward operating base. But we had a big like 20-foot wall around our whole. It was like Uday, one of their palaces that got bombed out by the Air Force. But
Yeah.
when I left, so I got orders. One of my friends reached out to me. He's a branch manager. Was like, yo, man, like you're about to retire. He's like, you got 4 years left. Where you want to go? And I was like, I don't know, man. Definitely not back to Fort Riley because they're coming back here again. So he's like, we're going to send you to New Cumberland, Pennsylvania. So my mission stat was like 73%, and I re-enlisted people 159% in theater. So all those people I re-enlisted went back to Fort Riley, and 3 months later they all came back again. So
Oh, wow.
I went to New Cumberland, Pennsylvania, where I'm at today. I didn't think I would be living here in New Cumberland, but I originally went back to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. And I'm like, what is in New Cumberland? And they were like, you're ACRC, active component, reserve component. So I was stationed with maybe 30 other E7s.
Wow.
Could you even imagine working with other E7s going, hey, man, can you pick that up? Or, hey, can you get that? They were like,
Yeah.
hell no, I ain't getting that for you. But like, you never talk bad about anyone in the unit because like that would jeopardize your career. Because
Right.
like a lot of those guys would go on to be master sergeants. And while I was there, so we were field artillery advisors. We would go out and evaluate field artillery tables, for firing and stuff. But me, the top secret came back and they were like, we're going to make you the S2. So I don't know what it is in the Marine Corps, but intelligence. So I did the clearances for all the guys on the lanes and everybody. We all had no females in our unit, all guys. We had a sergeant major, a master sergeant, a major, 2 captains, and all the sergeant first classes, and a lieutenant colonel. And our mission changed. They left all the wives and everything in New Cumberland, and everybody went up to be GO bachelors at Fort Dix. So at Fort Dix, they trained for Afghanistan and Iraq. So we trained everybody up there. And while I was there, let's just say I got volunteered because I was single. Now, I actually had met someone after maybe in 2004. I met a female, Kelly. We were just boyfriend and girlfriend, but she was a psych nurse. And she was always telling me, like, trying to weed me out. Like, you need to get out. This is not going to help you. I don't think that your career is going to go anymore. Like, if you go to combat one more time, you're probably going to come back in a body bag. Well, I found out that I got volunteered to go to Iraq for my 5th combat tour. And I'm like, oh my God, like, what is this? So, you know what MTEL is?
What is it? Intel?
MTEL, Mission Essential Task Listing,
Okay,
like the gear. So we dressed the part, but we didn't play the part because like we had sunglasses and walkie-talkies. And they were like, okay, the major, the captain, and 3 sergeant first classes, you're going to Kuwait and then up to Iraq as a combat arms assessment team. And I'm like, what are we doing here? So they told us our initial job there was to collect data because of all the stuff that was going on in the States, the training, because like all the tactics and procedures were changing daily because the enemy was catching on to everything.
Right.
We come up with a way to scan under the underpass, they would put the bomb in a different place or the IED in a different place. So what we had to do is consolidate the 5 places we went. So the first place we went, and I'm not going to talk about all the other places, so some of that stuff was classified, but later it got declassified. But we went to Fallujah. So we flew up to Fallujah, we fell in on the Puerto Rican National Guard, and they were one of the units that we trained at Fort Dix. So at Fort Dix, they speak no English. But this time we brought a Spanish-speaking guy with us, Gomez. And when we got to theater, they were all speaking English because they had just got mortared like 3 days prior. So Fallujah was 101st Airborne or Air Assault headquarters. We went up there. We found out they got attacked. Y'all know what the gunner is, right? In a Humvee.
Yeah.
So when we got there, they were wearing like bomb suits. Like they were wearing these suits with the big glass on the. So we got in there to get a briefing, and there was a guy in there with like a neck brace on. I was like, what the hell is this, man? And like he stood up and started talking, and then they brought like this helmet out, and it had like this, I want to say like a caliber, like a 50 caliber round stuck in the shield.
Whoa!
Said, this is the helmet that he was wearing. He's alive, you know. This is the guy talking to us, telling us they know you're here. They have a bounty on you. If you think this shit is fake, this is the real deal, and this is what you're going to deal with. And our unit is going to protect you. So we were like the VIPs. They did the VIP escort. We collected data. My job was like 5, 10, 25, 50 meters. Like I would do the distance thing. And then I also did where we found out a lot of units were like not taking all their equipment with them. Like they would leave like all the little nuts and bolts and the connects and stuff, but like the teeny mechanism to actually properly fire the 50 cal. So they were doing investigations where like people would get like taken out, and they would do like the insurance claims and stuff. We found out, and part of our job was in that book, we would lay out all the components and take pictures of them, because some of these people that got shot, man, they did not get their insurance claims because improper weapon system, chain of command didn't properly make sure that the soldiers were prepared for combat. Like if a weapon system was missing a teeny mechanism, that weapon system was unprepared. So if the guy was out there holding it and it was supposed to be trained on a position like your right and left sectors. If it's supposed to be set, so if they got attacked, he could just fire it instead of John Wayne it, you know?
Right.
But maybe if he didn't John Wayne it, he wouldn't lose his face or something, you know? So they did all these investigations. We did all this stuff and took pictures. That was part of my project. And then my other part of the project was we, 3 of us combined, did like the roadside bombs and IEDs and stuff like that. And then it was pretty cool because like when I was retention NCO, when I didn't go out on the wire much, we got to talk like to the EMA or like the mayor in the village and all that, you know, and learn about their customs and courtesies and all that, because we had to put that in the handbook too, because this handbook was developed for units that didn't get the proper training. So like a postal unit that would deploy, never thought that they would deploy into combat instead of pushing mail. They changed their stuff and made them door kickers, you know?
Wow.
So our handbook was developed. And so to end this all, we went back to Fort Leavenworth, Kansas, where the Center of Army Lessons Learned was. I don't even know what that was. So they make these handbooks. And the handbook that we developed was Security Forces Handbook 0602, 2006, episode, edition 2. Found out that was the most requested publication from the call in the United States Army. So we took the classified data, declassified it, gave it to the illustrators and the analysts. They developed the book. They took all of our stuff. I was considered one of 5 contributing authors, and that's where I got my start of like writing. And long story short, I came back. Sergeant Major was like, "You got mental problems. You got attitude issue. Going to give you a 2, and the colonel's probably going to give you a 1 block, but your career's over." So I'm like, "Oh, okay." So basically, you know, I went over there and put my life on the line, and not going to make master sergeant. So sat down with now my fiance, and she's like, "What can you do?" And I found out that Walter Reed had the Wounded Warrior Transition Unit. So I went down there, I got evaluated, and about And 2 months later, I got orders, and my unit was furious that they released me like I was attached. So I went down and I was part of the Wounded Warrior Transition Unit. And let me tell you what, that was an eye opener for me because like I'm a very hard charger, and coming from where I was at to like seeing people, soldiers and civilians coming off the battlefield all blown up, missing arms and legs, all mentally not there. I had to wear my uniform. Most of them that were suffering, that were staying at the guest house, they wore civilian clothes. So they didn't really mess with them, They were just trying to go through their traumatic, and it was weird. I would meet people that were missing arms and legs that didn't have mental problems. Like they didn't show that. They were there to get better and leave and go process into a new life. Like they would have job fairs all the time. And these companies would come in and all this stuff. And so I was in a 12-person group, therapy group in the inpatient psych unit. So I learned, like, I'm not going to talk about that, but I learned different things of like coping mechanisms and stuff. And we learned life therapy.
Right.
We learned like we did charades and all this stuff. And like, I wrote all about it in my first book, The Mirror, but I learned it was not all combat. We had a female Marine there who was abducted in her recruiting office by her first sergeant commander. And her husband was in the next room. So she came out. Everybody came out at a different time. So no one knew anyone's last names. We all knew each other by our first names. No one knew their rank. But she wore the black or the brown, and was
the khaki shirt.
But she was never in combat. So like she was there for like protective custody, because she was about the way she said, she was going to crucify her chain of command. And her husband didn't even know. Like they thought that she was just crazy, and her husband helped get her into Walter Reed. And I found out that there was sexual trauma. Okay.
Yeah.
So going forward, the Army said to me, when do you want to retire? And they gave me 1 October or 31 October 2008. Oh, in 2007, my daughter was born, but I couldn't go home. My daughter was born on like the Army's birthday. I couldn't go home. They wouldn't. I went home to see her born, and then I had to come immediately back because a lot of people thought that we would take the battlefield home. And that's why they had me where I was at for a whole year, because soldiers come off the battlefield and unalive their families and think that they're the enemy. And that's what my mindset was, truly.
Right.
So saw the birth of my daughter, retired in 2008 on Halloween. Basically, when I got home, that's when the hell started, because like when my daughter was born, I was forgotten. I was forgotten father. I was on lithium, Prozac, high blood pressure, calcium. I was on 10 different bottles of pills.
Yeah.
And I was a zombie. Like I couldn't even write a resume. Like I learned a little bit at Walter Reed how to write a resume, but like when you're up and you're 1 year old and 2 years screaming and it's your watch and your wife is telling you that, oh yeah, I'm married too. Your wife is telling you you're a failure. You need to go get a job. You're not going to live off your retirement. So here I am, big bad sergeant. And then I go work for like a cola company. They treated me absolute garbage. I was a merchandiser. Then I went to go work for a correctional facility at Elizabethtown. So I went to correctional officer training. And because I did detainee operations in Iraq, they threw me to the wolves. Like trainees are not allowed to work with Class A inmates, meaning like murderers and killers and crazy people. They had different blocks for that. I went and did all the blocks. Like maybe the first week I was there, I was working with murders.
Yeah, that's probably the worst thing that could have happened to you too, wasn't it?
I took all that home. Because I wouldn't vent.
That was the worst thing you could have done.
Yeah, man. So, in 2014, man. So while I was working at the prison, I got a phone call from the government, like from the DOD civilian side. And they're like, hey, we see in your resume that you were a security specialist. You did an internship at Walter Reed for security. and I still had my top secret security clearance because you don't lose that until like 2 years later or 5 years later or something.
Right.
So they were like, hey, we want you to come work for the government. We'll make you a GS-11, step 3 or something, and you're going to be a security specialist. So I worked for the security. I worked for the government as a security specialist, where I did like contracting, information, physical security, anything. But I wasn't like a security guard. I did like security clearances, set up everything to go to adjudications and all that. And then 2014, I wanted to end my life. Like I was in a non-sexual marriage for 10 years, man.
Yeah.
I stayed there because of my kids. So my mom was in a nursing home. I took my daughter to go see my mom. She was 61. When I took my daughter to go see her Grammy Sue, she was dead. Her eyes were up in her head. My mom had a full goatee. It was like the nursing home wasn't taking care of her, and I wasn't visiting my mom because like I couldn't. I wasn't physically there. Like I was about to kill myself.
Right.
Unalive myself. Show my daughter and my wife that I wanted to. You know how what's her name? Doja Cat said, "Paint the town red."
Mhm.
So I wanted to paint the room red and show them that I did have a purpose. So because of that death of my mom, my dad, who brutally abused me as a child, called me and asked me for help. He said, I'm not going to make it. So my dad was 80. Mom was 61. She died. My dad was 80 when she died. And I gave up everything that I had. Like I just left them. With the clothes on my back and my government laptop in my car, I went and lived with my dad until 2017. I went out to go take care of the dogs with my wife and my daughter. My daughter was doing pageants. I went to take care of the dogs. I came back. My dad had a stroke and fell off the couch, and eventually he died. And here I am sitting in their empty apartment. And if you've ever had to go through that process of your parents taking everything, I was finding letters from when I was a private, like crying, but I had a manuscript, and this is where the story begins. So I had a manuscript, and I had been writing since I was like 19, like little trinkets and stuff. So I started when I was working for the government. I'm going to disclose this because my book, I had to have it approved by the Pentagon to say what I'm about to say. On government time, when I wasn't doing anything and I was the only one left in the office because everybody's out traveling and stuff. So I was the puke in the back doing all the work. But when I wasn't, I was writing my book on my government computer. And I had a manuscript at home, and they let me have a couple days, about a week off. And I had this manuscript, and I laid it out in their empty apartment. And I took myself as the author, like I didn't even know what an author was. I took myself from being who I was to a reader and laid it out and made sure that this manuscript would be like, you could keep going. Instead of like going to a page and be bored and like, the hell with this, I don't want to read this no more. So I didn't have a cover. And then they came, before I left, the newspaper, and were like, hey, we want to do an article on your dad, because my dad was a 2-time Korean War veteran, Pork Chop Hill. They did an article on me. Like, they had a picture of me. My first book is like me walking in a hallway to a light. So I used that as a cover. I shared the manuscript with I graduated with like 400 people from my class in Carlisle Senior High School. And I shared it with everybody. And they were like, man, you got a book in you. So it was called Cover to Cover. And I was like, hell, I never read a book in my entire life from cover to cover, because in the Army, everything was open book. And I was the clueless person, I was a skateboarder kid back in the day. So I didn't even know, like, hell, I only like history, man. Like, I barely made it through high school. But I changed it to the mirror, because we have these reflections. Like, you can look at someone and look shiny, but you don't know what's inside them. You don't know the story. So I called the book The Mirror. So for the first 3 weeks, it was not a bestseller, but it sold out. I was with Book Venture, did pretty good, sold a couple books. And then we went dormant for a while. Like, I was working for the government. Like, I didn't have time for books and shit. And probably in near the end of my government career, so I'm already about 16 years into this with the government, with military time. They terminated me over an email because, again, I had an altercation. Not really an altercation. I just told my boss, you and I can't be working in the same office. So the DOD police came and took me away. And about 3 or 4 months while I was sitting at home, I got an email. They terminated me over an email. And I guess I had a TSSCI. So I don't know if I was administratively debriefed or what. So while I was sitting at home, one of my friends from DCSA said, you need to file for disability retirement because I think you'll win your case. Now, a lot of people can't say this, but I've had the same psychiatrist at the VA since 2008. So you tell me how many people, veterans, have the same psychiatrist that long, how the
That
system
doesn't happen.
juggles them. No. But my guy is now, me and him are like this. And he's the chief of psychiatry where I'm at. And because of him, I'm alive.
Mhm.
So my disability retirement was approved. So out of 12% of people that file disability in the DOD, the entire DOD is approved. 12%.
12%.
The reason why? 12% because inaccurate write-up, not a good medical write-up. I sat down with a few of my friends, like the command didn't even help me. I filed for reasonable accommodation. They denied it. So automatically, when they deny it, you're going to at least have an advantage. So mine got kicked back because of my daughter's insurance stuff. So like I was working nightly, like 2, 3, 4 in the morning with a girl from Hawaii from HR. I don't want to say what branch, but a branch, HR, during the whole, after COVID, everybody just stayed at home and teleworked.
Right.
But she worked remotely from Hawaii and worked for OPM, like Office of Personal Management. So the approving authority. So that branch submitted my stuff and she helped me with the insurance stuff. My stuff got approved. So probably in August 2003, it was approved. And then on May 4th, Star Wars Day, it just hit me. Like I created 1821. It was called 1821. It wasn't productions or anything. It was
Right.
just 1821 Facebook page. I created it. And I said, you know what? Man, I've been shit on my whole life. I had terrible upbringing, military, marriage. Now I'm going to set a goal. Now I'm going to try. Because I was very mentally abusive to my wife and my daughter. Like I called my wife and my daughter bitches all the time. And you imagine what a child feels today.
Oh, yeah.
And then they're going to forget that. Okay.
Mhm.
So I thought as a heartfelt apology, I would start going out and showing my daughter that I had a purpose. Like I'm not the deadbeat dad that her mom tells her or her grandparents tell her. So now my mom's gone. My dad's gone. I write the book. I'm writing the book called The Broken Mirror. So the mirror, and then the broken mirror is like opening Pandora's box. Eventually it dropped. So I started doing being on podcasts and started getting my name out there and stuff, and started developing the Shield, the 1821 production Shield. And I didn't know that I was going to be, I didn't have an LLC or anything because anybody could steal it,
Right.
So I started doing like the trademark thing, and then I sold my house for $300,000, bought an RV, got chitty
Nice.
chitty bang bang, and I rode out on the road for a year. I was out there helping veterans. The book came out on Halloween. Go figure. I dropped it on Halloween, and while I was out on the road, it got nominated for the Eric Hopper Award, Book Award. Didn't
Nice.
win, but that nomination is pretty high for the Eric Hopper book. If you look it up, Eric Hopper. And then I got 2 International Impact Book Award on the same book,
Right.
Broken Mirror, for military self-help and self-development. And I have no idea who submitted those awards for me because I was in the grind. Like if you want to find pain, the campgrounds are the pain. You
Right.
got veterans, civilians on the road. I'm driving late at night. I go to different locations, stop at the truck stops, interact with people that are suffering and stuff. I bought little lapel pins. I bought my own shirts when I do my podcast. I have bookmarkers that I do. And then I stayed in Florida for a while because my ex-wife lost her job. And I think my daughter it meant a lot to her that I stayed there because if I wouldn't have stayed there, I think my daughter would have to move back to Pennsylvania. So my daughter is a two-time world champ competitive cheerleader for Top Gun. So
Wow.
she got her first world championship at 13 and her second world championship at 15. And now she's a competitive coach for Top Gun at 18 years old. At 18. So she has her mom's looks and her dad's determination and drive. And now our bond is so tight because, like, she knows that I'm out trying to get a message. Like, and any royalties that I get from my books go to a private account for my kid. Like, I don't get nothing for what I'm doing. Like, if I sell books, I don't pocket nothing. Like, right now, I took the money I had to help pay for my daughter's. She goes to Paul Mitchell. She just started a couple of days ago, Paul Mitchell's cosmetology school. She's been doing these heads since she was 5. And her dream is to be like her own cosmetologist. She's doing all the little girls' hairs on the team as a coach. And the parents give her like $20. So she has a lot of drive. I mean, like, she's one of the best tumblers in the country, from what I was told. I never went to see her world events because I was so busy working with the government and being out on the road. And then everything stopped, and I drove back up from Pennsylvania and flew out to Phoenix to receive my National Book Award. And one of the only veterans that was out of 300 some authors, I met maybe 2 or 3. They were kind of quiet at being veterans. Like, they didn't mention in their books that they were veterans because they wrote about like medieval stuff and space, like aliens and all this, and like
sci-fi type stuff.
Yeah, man. But they didn't disclose like anything in their bios about being in the military. Like, they were real quiet about it. But like, I met a few of them at the airport. I met a few of them at the event, and they said that my speech was the most resonating speech because, like, I wrote my speech in March of this year, and the event was in August. So I changed it about 10 times, but my civilian mentor said, the way you're going to captivate your audiences, you need to use something from Walter Reed to like blow them away. So I said, picture yourself, you're in I just said an inpatient psych unit where you're going through therapy and courses, and there's a whiteboard behind you. Like I said, here's a whiteboard, and you're given a red marker and a black marker. So you could figure out what the red marker was, the pain, and the black marker is like your everyday stuff. So like, definitely it set the stage. And then when I was done with my speech, I had 90 seconds. I said, what are you going to do? Are you going to keep the red marker in dormant? And are you going to use the black marker as much as you can because of the coping mechanisms and trying to escape the demons? So going forward, I believe mental health is a life sentence without parole. And the reason why I say that is because people are like, oh, you can get parole on that. Well, not really, because like I worked in the prison system. I saw murderers and killers get parole, you know? But when you are mental, it's coping mechanisms.
Yeah.
You can pay as much money as you want for therapy, but you know what? The demons or something will trigger you one day or another.
Yeah.
Trust me. I have friends that say it will never happen. Well, how about you're driving down the road and you get in a very bad accident and you see someone fly through a windshield. Think you're going to forget that? No, I don't think you're going to do that. So you have military and civilian trauma. You have sexual trauma. Now you have, I want to say, political trauma. Your candidate doesn't wait. Your candidate doesn't win. You have a meltdown. Like, people moved to other countries. So I'm here, and I took a picture while I was in Phoenix of this right here. That guy right there with his hands on his head. It was like, I had enough. I've had enough. So I learned through the author community, there's funnel organizations. I'm not going to call them out, but you pay money to get an award, then they want to pay more and pay more. I learned that there's fake marketers. So I am a veteran advocate for PTSD and mental health, as well as an author advocate. So I just wrote this book called No Filter. I got no filter, man. I talk the smack that I want to talk. And I even put the parent advisory symbol for the O and no for a cryptic, message. It says from skateboard kid to entrepreneur. Now, to be an entrepreneur, you don't have to be rich. You have to build a global platform. So
Right.
1821 production, Voice of the Voiceless is The Mirror, The Broken Mirror, and now No Filter dropping on Halloween. I got my author copies. And then I also put a cryptic QR code to go to the other two books right
Nice.
there. So it's black and white because I live in a dark world, but eventually I come to light to
Yeah.
where I am today. So, yeah, man, it's been a journey, and I've been on several different podcasts. I was on a podcast yesterday. I was on a podcast. So now I have my own podcast that's
Yep.
going to be coming out on Military Broadcast Radio. They're letting me stand up on their platform to talk about mental health and trauma. And I'm only going to be 30 minutes, but it's going to be like 45 with like intro, public service announcement. I asked 3 questions. My show is called Crawl, Walk, Run. So in the military, you learn military leadership, coach, teach, mentor. So
Right.
I learned crawl, walk, run. You have to be a follower before you're a leader. And I've been in a leadership position, and I've also been in the follow position while I was in the leadership position, like in civilian government. I just sat there and observed everything, how corrupt the civilian government was. So the mirror and the broken mirror have been approved by the Pentagon Review Board, where I talk about long-term medication use, corrupt government system, and not like politics. I'm talking about everyday civilian job. If you have a mental health issue, they're probably going to use it against you for promotion like they did for me.
Yeah.
And then they eventually throw your ass out. And then I did No Filter, dropping on Halloween, where it talks about my childhood, bullying, name calling. Today, if you're called names, you commit suicide because people don't talk about it. I have a military and corporate leadership in my new book, which is banging. A couple people have told me if they don't know me, if they read that, they know exactly who I am. So to end this whole thing, on Facebook, I have Cooking with Stevo Facebook group, and that's where people post their pictures. Because when I was out on the road, I was cooking all the time and posting pictures, and it started building up on my phone. So I made a page to post all that. It's kind of like a mental health thing. If people become like chefs and stuff, so people post all their food there. I have story time with Stevo because a lot of people can't read, they can't comprehend. They would rather have someone, and a real author is going to read to their audience to show them exactly what they have. So I learned that when I was in the author community. I have the blacklist. So marketers and fake authors, you get put on there, and I have 2 moderators, and I'm the admin. That's going pretty good. And then I have Crawl, Walk, Run leadership corporate page where I post daily about military and corporate leadership. I don't know if you knew it. There's 850 different definitions of leadership out there. Crazy. Totally crazy. But yeah, man, it's been a journey. So I have the podcast coming up. Hopefully that's going to be successful. And this book that I have right now has already got a 5-star Reader Choice Award. And I'm waiting for a Literary Titan Award, 5-star. It's going to be a silver or a gold award that's going to be added to that book. But
Nice.
this right here, I'm told this is the best. This is the best of my work right here. No
And
filter right here.
That comes out on Halloween, correct?
The pre-order is now on Amazon Kindle. Okay. So I may have to resend you that link because it just dropped.
Okay.
It'll come out on the 19th, but we'll be live. So I work a contract with Ingram Spark. So if any authors want to get their stuff out there, it's not so hard, but they say it's an expensive process, but it's not. I paid $100 to join Ingram Sparks, and then I paid $100 to get my book put in Barnes and Nobles in their stores.
Right.
I paid $100 for Walmart, and I paid $100 for Kindle. So, I mean, for Target. And they do another $100 for your ebook. And then this book here, the font is really big, really easy to read. And Ingram Sparks even told me this is going to sell right here. They read through it and they said this is a freaking amazing book. So Halloween, and I'm trying to do locally here where I live in New Cumberland, the Camp Hill area, trying to do a book signing on Halloween. That would really make my Halloween because I'm not even a Christmas guy. I'm a Halloween guy.
Yeah.
Sitting at a table, interacting with people. So, yeah, man, the journey's been real, dude. So I appreciate you letting me have the time, man.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And what a great story, a great comeback story for you, right? You had some trials and tribulations along the way, but you made it.
Yeah. So haters, fact check me. I dare you, fact check me.
Well, that's the big thing. I mean, I mean, that's what I got off from this, just listening to you, was your absolute honesty.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Why come on a podcast and lie? Because somebody's got the microscope right now, and they're gonna be like, "Up, look this guy up." Because I went on chat. I'm like, "Hey, Chat GPT, tell me all the bad shit about me." And I'm like, go back and find anything bad about me. Like recently, these big corporations are having people coming out that are pedos and all that.
Yeah.
Like, why am I going about and bounced about veterans and helping veterans and PTSD and childhood trauma, and I'm out doing the pedo thing, and I got an 18-year-old kid, Like, the only reason I'm alive, and because now my sister just recently passed away 2 months ago at the age of 61, go figure. Mom 61, sister 61.
Wow.
But my daughter is the last to carry the Stephens name. And I told her, when your little ass gets married, you're going to be Izzy, Stephens, Smith, whatever. But she be doing too much stuff right now because she got cosmetology, coaching 2 times a week. And yeah, man. So I don't think I'm going to have any grandchildren anytime soon. So, but I will tell you one thing. I try not to put no labels or anything. I'm learning a lot from my boy Brian. He's a podcast host, Marine Corps veteran. I know you know who he is.
Brian Roof.
Exactly.
He actually said much love and respect. I don't know if you see the comment there. But
no, I don't see the comments. But he inspired me. Him, Travis, and I'm even gonna call out the green guys. What's his name? Mark Patterson from whatever. They inspire me to do what I'm doing, man. Like, if they didn't believe in me, I just did a podcast with Brian, AI thing, man. Mm-hmm. He has a division measures. That's an amazing show. I was on there. He had me as his first guest. Me and Brian, we don't communicate much, but I believe we're like this in the brotherhood of, what we're doing here on podcasting. Yeah. So you have your positive and negatives on podcasting. And all I'm going to say is me and Brian are starting the new label thing, man, because all this stuff that's going on in our country right now, they're all pointing at the right. They're all pointing at the left. They're all pointing at the center. But to tell you the truth, man, I don't care. Your vote doesn't matter. They already know who's going to be the president. I don't care. Mm-hmm. And he ain't running the country. He might say he's running the country, but the elite, Vanguard, BlackRock, all the big families, they're all running this country, man. So if you believe everything that you see, it's all filter, man. We're like in a Netflix documentary right now.
Yeah.
And the only thing I was telling Brian, I can't wait to Three-Eye Atlas comes in November, December, the big spaceship that they're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. That looks like somebody got high and took a picture of a joint. Burned up joint. Took a picture of it, man. Seriously, man. So, but yeah, man, all the podcast guys out there, all the people that believe in me, I've got a lot of amazing guests coming up on my show. Maybe I'll have you on I'll have you on my show.
Sounds good. Yeah, just let me know.
But yeah,
when do you start doing your show?
I did an intro today. And blasted it out. And they think that I'm going to go at the end of October. So I'm having some trouble mic stuff with my tablet. I'm pretty clear here on my phone. So I'm doing all this on my phone right now. But my tablet, I have a microphone set in my RV, and I'm going to get that out and test it with a few friends. But I know StreamYard. Now, if you go to 1821 Productions on Spotify, you'll hear my audio pieces that I did. So I recorded one of my soldiers that served with me. He served 22 years, so I inspired him to stay. He's a Purple Heart recipient and 3 Bronze Stars. He has 3 Bronze Stars. So he told his story. And so I learned how to, while interviewing, to put the pictures up and all that. It's not easy, man. It's really not. And especially when you're live. Because some people will show stuff when you're live. Because I'll be talking and they'll put a picture up and I'm gone. I'm like, what the hell are they doing, man? I thought they edited all that stuff at the end, but they throwing moving around while I'm talking. But I did Chelsea Elizabeth was brutally attacked by a dog, ripped the back of her head and her face off. Interviewed her. I interviewed a lady who wrote a book about her father in World War II.
Oh, wow.
Now she's huge. She's huge. She's a huge author, and interacting with the author community. I think you're an author too. Congratulations.
Thanks.
I'll have to check out your book, man. So, but
it's not a bestseller. It's just me telling stupid stories, man.
oh, me neither, man. And you know what? To be a bestseller, you gotta have this right here, man.
Yeah. Well,
You
I
gotta
don't have
this
that.
here, man. And I don't have that either. But I write because I want people to hear my story. I believe our generation, like skip the Gen Zs, man, because like we're the generation that's going to mold the generation that's coming up. Like you got people coming out of the military every day, man. And let me tell you what, the grass is not greener, because my buddy, who is a Purple Heart recipient and 3 Bronze Stars, he ended up working at a gas station, man. Highly decorated soldier, get out, thinking that he's going to walk God's planet because he got these awards. When you go to the civilian world, they don't care about this, man.
That's true.
They don't care about this. They don't care. And this is one thing that I wrote in the Broken Mirror. You have to take that military lingo and change it over to the civilian, because no one cares you were a platoon sergeant. No one cares that you were a fervor colonel. They want to know you were an advisor, a supervisor, a manager, and they want to know credibility. If you don't have credibility, man, I hope the person with the degree gets a job, because I got an equivalent to a military leadership, a bachelor's in military leadership. So I took all my stuff and did that, you know, the sweep and all that, and combined all my stuff. So yeah, so I don't have a degree, and half of the combat arms guys don't have degrees. And look, they're CEOs, owners of businesses, and everybody complains that the combat arms guys are like, but I know a lot of combat arms people that are entrepreneurs, very successful. So again, thank you for having me on the platform. Peace, love, and joy.
Absolutely, man. So, thanks for coming on and sharing. For everybody out there, we're definitely going to put all of his stuff in the comments whenever this post as well. So I'll make sure that I get all the stuff from you, and I'll put it in there, and that way anybody can go find it. So yeah, it'll be good. I'm looking forward to you being very successful, and then you get to pick us up whenever you're high on the hog up there, you know.
But you know one thing about me, and there's a lot of people that get successful, they forget about all the people that brought them up. Because I'm trying to teach my daughter right now. I said, women look cool. Because like I guess her coach right now is mad that she's like a hometown coach woman. And my daughter's at the elite coaching right now at 18. So I said, why don't you interact with your coach, somebody that brought you through the roots, and come back to your old gym where your roots are. That's do like tipping with do a free thing, have Top Gun, they pay for her flight, her hotel, everything.
Absolutely.
She'll come back here, mentor little girls. Like I'm trying to get like an LLC built for my kid called Tipping with Iz, or Tip with Iz, because they call her Izzy. So, and Stevo comes from credibility. So when I was in that unit with all those Sergeant First classes, they didn't call me Bill. They didn't call me Sergeant. When you bust your ass and you work with people and you don't complain and you don't call people out, you get that credibility from Stevens to Stevo. And that's why I'm Stevo.
I love it. Well, shoot, man. It's been great.
So I don't mean to cut you off,
Just,
Andrew. Where are you at on social media?
So I have a YouTube channel that only has 56 followers. I drop all my videos, because Facebook is removing videos, right?
Yeah.
They're removing stuff. So I put all my videos on YouTube. I'm on IG. I was on LinkedIn until someone hacked me. I was on TikTok until my daughter stole my information and got her own account. And I can't log in now because she took my information, but she's got like 10 million followers with little kids and stuff. So she can have that. I'm on X now, and I've been on X for like a month, and I got 1.3 followers already. So, and I've been on William Stephens since 2017 on Facebook.
Like Instagram? You on Instagram?
Yeah. So I don't have a lot of followers there, but my William Stephens has over 1,000 now.
Nice.
And 1821 Productions, Voice of the Voiceless, just hit, I think, 1.3. So and I'm trying to, work with different podcast people to blast my stuff out. So I've met a lot of people. I don't know how the hell you have 200,000 followers, but I wouldn't even imagine having, like, how are you even going to talk to those people, man? Like, really? Like, that's a one and done thing. Like, okay, but.
So what are you on Instagram?
What am I called?
Yeah.
What the hell am I called? I think
I
I'm
didn't mean to
called.
put you on the spot. I'm sorry.
Oh no, just I got my tablet here, so I could just hit that because actually I had to upload that was iOS 26, and I had to take a bunch of crap off my phone.
Yeah.
So now I put all the bull crap on here. So, but yeah, I have a tablet. That's like my tablet. This is like I'm very mobile in what I do. So like I take my phone and my tablet. So let me go here. Instagram. What am I known as Instagram? So I am. The hell am I? Let's see here. How's this work?
You sound like me. It's like, what the hell am I?
I go by 1821007 _ Sam. I have 81 followers and 1,000 posts, but I'm now starting to get a lot of people interacting with my posts. I got a lot of views on a lot of posts, but you know what? If you have 1 million followers, sometimes when you come on, you only get 2 people who view your stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's slowly. I believe one day that 1821 Productions is going to be global, man. And you know what? Like, I'm not looking to be a bestseller. I'm just looking to get that. There's not a lot of people that will be no filter, talk about pain and suffering. And that's what I'm trying to prove to military broadcast radio, that they say it's a happy place, but you have to come from the dark place and let your voice be heard. And that's why I don't want to be on a I don't agree with a podcast this long. The reason why, you may get someone that could trigger it while you're on the podcast. So I believe 30 minutes, locked and cocked. I interview someone because, like, when I was interviewing the lady that got bit by the dog, we were live, but audio. And she got choked up. And I had to learn. You have to learn to come down to that level, man. Because if not, your podcast is just going to go out, and that's why I told him I want to pre-record, because, like, if somebody has a traumatic issue, how you going to fix that when you're live, man?
Yeah.
So here we're just shooting the shit, but I'm learning to live with my demons, man. Like, I have demons, and you know what? I do my morning message I do a mental health message every morning. I do use the F word a lot on that, but you know what? If you don't like me, you can bounce. I don't care. But when I'm on this here, when I'm representing this, I don't swear. I don't try to swear. It's all professional. I won't wear this on my morning message. I'm just Stevo, man. So, like I said, I appreciate it. If it wasn't for all the other veterans, people that have the voice of the unheard, man, we wouldn't be making it, man. So,
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Who's this this guy down here?
Sorry, Jim came in late. So Jim's another Marine. He's one of the regulars.
Thank you for your service, man.
Hey, thank you for yours, Stevo.
Yep.
Well, hey, Stevo, we always do this fun thing at the end where we have words of wisdom, and we go around and have people give us their words of wisdom for the day. So if you're game, we can go ahead and do it.
Let me hear everyone first, and then I'll come over my words of wisdom. You put me on the spot. Was that in the outline that you sent me? The words of wisdom? I might not.
No. I like to surprise everybody with words of wisdom.
Hey, that's like triple threat that podcast.
Yeah.
At the very end, they ask you, is it Michael Jackson or Prince? I'm like, what? Michael Jackson or Prince? Yeah, go check them guys out, man. Michael Jackson or Prince. That one caught me off guard, but yeah, I'll think about it while you guys talk about your words of wisdom.
All right, sounds good. Jim, you want to go first?
Sure, I'll go first. Hey, everybody, remember that just because you think you have knowledge doesn't mean you're mature in it.
That's good. All right. Digging it. I'm digging it. All right, Mike, what do you got?
If it won't matter in 5 years, don't spend more than 5 minutes worrying about it.
Whoa, say it again.
If it won't matter in 5 years, don't spend 5 minutes worrying about it.
Oh, that's pretty good. I like that too. Dang. All right. We're on a roll. All right. What do you got, Stevo?
Stop labeling people.
Say it one more time. I can barely.
Stop labeling people. The
Oh,
world would be a better place if we would stop labeling people and stop believing everything that you see, because I believe everything that you see is a freaking documentary from Netflix. So I just don't believe everything you see. And like me and Brian talked about, AI is going to take over the world.
yeah, it already is. It's already taken over, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and to go into that, stop believing everything you hear.
Absolutely.
Especially about people you may know or things, and even, in all of our cases, actually have a conversation with that person and say, hey, what's going on?
Yeah.
You may be surprised that what you hear isn't necessarily the truth.
Yeah.
If I would go back and talk to my younger self, I learned one thing in the military: don't volunteer for shit.
Yeah,
that's good. Hey,
isn't
Carlos,
that what they taught all of us? You got to volunteer. You got to be seen. You got to be noticed. Bullshit.
Yeah.
You'll get volunteered eventually.
Yeah, you'll get voluntold at some point. So quit worrying about.
Voluntold. Yeah.
You took the words right out of my mouth, man. That's what I wanted to say when I went to got my last tour. I got voluntold.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, Carlos, just so you know, I don't usually have words of wisdom because I always end the podcast talking about veteran suicide and ways for people to get help. But hey, one more time, I want to say thanks, Stevo, for coming on and doing this. Mike, Jim, thank you guys for coming on. It's been great. And don't hang up on me, Stevo, when we do this outro. But thanks again for doing this. Much appreciated. And for everybody out there, I'm going to have all this stuff posted on the comments whenever this goes out. So be prepared for that and be ready to go check out all his stuff. All right. To all the listeners out there, if you're struggling, need help, anything like that, don't forget the VA has some great resources. You can always dial 988, press option 1. You can always text 838-255, or you can go to veteranscrisisline.net and click on that chat icon. Any of those options will put you in contact with somebody that can help you out. But remember, one veteran life lost is one too many. I care about you. I know Jim and Mike and Stevo, they care about you. The whole veteran community cares about you. So please reach out for help. And if you're out there, you're not struggling, reach out to the buddies you served with. Ask them how they're doing. If they need that helping hand, please give it to them. All right, guys, one last time, thank you very much. Much appreciated. To everybody out there, stay motivated. Change your socks.
Thanks for tuning in to the Lost Art Project Veterans Voices podcast. Our mission? Simple. Preserve history, one veteran story at a time. If you'd like to support this work, consider making a donation or sponsoring an episode. Every contribution helps us capture and share more stories for future generations. You can learn more and give at thelostart.podbean.com or by clicking the link in the episode's description. Stay motivated, change your socks, and remember, every story matters.